You've been feeling it, haven't you? That stirring deep in your soul. That sense that something is shifting, even if you can't quite explain it. Let me tell you this. You are not here by accident. You didn't just stumble across this message. You were divinely led to this very moment. And if your spirit is alert right now, it's because heaven is trying to get your attention. This is your confirmation. Everything you've been sensing, everything you've been wrestling with internally, it's all been leading to this. You are standing at the edge of something major. Something that will not only change your life, but unlock the version of you that this world has been waiting to see. So I want you to lean in, sit up, focus, because what you're about to hear is not just encouragement, it's activation. You are chosen, you are seen, and you are about to step into the season that was built with your name on it. Let's go. There's something unmistakable about this moment. You're not here because of chance. You've felt the pull for a while now, that undeniable inner stirring that tells you there's more for you than what your eyes can see. This isn't confusion. This isn't restlessness. This is alignment. You've reached a threshold, and what stands before you is not just a new chapter. It's a divine redirection. But stepping into it won't happen by default. It requires intention. It requires response. Pause everything else. Because before we step into the revelation prepared for this exact moment in your life, you need to take 3 deliberate actions. Tap that like button. Subscribe so we can reach our goal of 15,000 voices united in truth. And drop the number 55 in the comments. Yes, 55. That number isn't just symbolic, it's a spiritual marker, a moment of agreement, an act of faith that sets a new level in motion. Something significant is about to shift, but the key is participation. Waiting in silence won't unlock it. Movement will. This isn't for those who sit back wondering if they're worthy. This is for those who know deep down they've been set apart. This is for the ones who feel something rising in their spirit even now. If that's you, then don't scroll. Don't walk away. Stay with me until the final word, because what you're about to hear will activate a shift that cannot be reversed. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. You've been carrying questions. You've been sitting in seasons that feel prolonged and unexplained. And yet, somewhere in that tension, your inner clarity is starting to surface. The fog is lifting. The pull is stronger. What once felt like delay is revealing itself as divine strategy. Every step that felt like a stall has actually been groundwork, and now the path is opening before you. Not suddenly, but intentionally. Don't miss this. Everything around you is beginning to adjust. You might not recognize it yet, but you're already standing in the early tremors of transformation. What's happening isn't random. It's structured. It's sacred. You've arrived at a moment that calls for full awareness, not halfway faith, not passive belief, full, courageous embrace of the unknown. That's where the elevation lives. And let's be real. Sometimes the shift doesn't come with trumpets. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it feels like being pulled away from comfort and into stretching. But that stretch, that's the evidence of movement, that ache in your soul. That's your purpose preparing to grow. You were never meant to stay small. That discomfort is the sign that new ground is beneath your feet, and it's ready to carry the weight of what you were born to release. So here it is. You're not behind. You're not late. You're exactly where you need to be for this unveiling. This isn't just about feeling better. This is about stepping into what you were created for. And it starts with choosing not to wait for the right conditions, but to move with conviction when the Spirit speaks. If you're still reading, then I know you're ready. The signal has reached you. The next move isn't about explaining. It's about stepping forward. When you do, you'll look back and realize this was the moment that everything started to make sense. Not because it got easier, but because you finally aligned your faith with the assignment. Get ready. This is the beginning of something irreversible. There are moments in life that feel like the ground beneath you is shifting, like something invisible yet powerful is setting everything into motion. This is one of those moments. You haven't stumbled into this by chance. What's unfolding around you is a direct answer to the silent prayers you whispered when no one was watching. You've asked for a turning point, for clarity, for something that proves all the waiting had a purpose. And now, that answer is showing up, not as a coincidence, but as divine orchestration. This isn't just about doors opening. It's about a complete realignment of your life's direction. You're standing at the edge of something you may not fully understand yet, but your spirit knows it's real. Every setback, delay, and detour has been part of a greater preparation. Things are not just shifting on the outside. Your inner world is being redefined. It's as if something inside you is being rewired to receive what you were always meant to carry. You've been feeling it, a pull, a knowing, a deep recognition that this moment holds weight. What's coming isn't just new, it's transformative. And with that transformation comes a responsibility to release what no longer belongs in the space you're moving into. Before you can fully rise, there are remnants that must be stripped away. That inner heaviness you've been dragging, frustration, bitterness, disappointment, it has no place in the next level. The emotional clutter you've been tolerating has taken up room meant for peace, clarity, and divine focus. It may feel unnatural to let go, but this is not about comfort. It's about calling. Letting go is the unspoken act of trust. Not everything that started with you is supposed to finish with you. Some feelings, some reactions, some narratives have expired, and they've been silently holding you back. The weight of what you haven't released has been slowing your spiritual pace. But today, something breaks, and in that release, you're not losing. You're making space for acceleration. This refinement won't always feel peaceful. Healing is rarely quiet, but the discomfort you feel is the friction between who you were and who you are becoming. You weren't created to live heavy. You were designed to move forward light, free, and deeply aware. Forgiveness, toward others, toward yourself, isn't just a kind gesture. It's a spiritual unlock. What you refuse to release becomes the very thing that delays your divine alignment. And then there's this. Some bonds, though familiar, aren't meant to cross over into what's next. Growth will sometimes require you to love from a distance, to bless quietly and walk away without bitterness. This is not abandonment. It's refinement. You are not walking away from people. You're walking toward purpose. There are people in your life who were there to teach, to test, to reflect, but not to remain. As your assignment increases, so must your environment reflect it. Some connections that once felt comforting may now feel confining. That's not a sign of failure. That's a sign of shift. When you cling to what no longer fits, you suffocate what's trying to be born. Honor what was, but trust what's becoming. And remember, who's meant to walk with you in the future won't need to be forced to stay. They'll align naturally. They'll show up not because you asked, but because they're part of the blueprint. You are not losing, you're shedding. And with every release, you're rising. You're making room for something sacred. The space you clear today becomes the ground where divine elevation begins. Keep pressing, keep releasing. What's ahead is worth every tear, every goodbye, and every act of courage it takes to let go. You've walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where it felt like life was paused and prayers echoed back with silence. And now, suddenly, it's as if everything is moving at once. This is not a coincidence. This is divine alignment unfolding in real time. You're not late. You're right on time, arriving at a moment that has been shaped by every tear, every trial, and every lesson you didn't know you were learning. What once felt random is now revealing itself as intentional. Everything is falling into place, not by chance, but by a higher schedule that's never been off by even a breath. This is not just about things getting better. It's about you being positioned to walk in what was always yours. But to carry what's ahead, your foundation needed strength. That's why the delay. That's why the fire. You weren't being punished. You were being calibrated. The path was always yours, but the strength to walk it with power and clarity, that had to be built. And now, it's time. This season isn't just about external blessing. It's about internal elevation. You're stepping into your next, with depth, with wisdom, with unshakable peace. This is your moment of alignment. Breathe it in. You're ready. When something great is coming, it never enters without preparation. The gravity of your next level calls for a deeper kind of endurance. And so, you're entering a proving ground, not to break you, but to reveal you. What's ahead requires a new kind of strength, and that's why things may feel heavier right now. It's not an attack, it's activation, a sharpening. You're being summoned to demonstrate what's been cultivated in the quiet. Not just what you know, but who you are. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you are meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. This challenge isn't here to intimidate, it's here to qualify, to bring to the surface the very grit your calling demands. You asked for something more, and this is the stretching that leads to it. It's a test without a warning label. A test not of appearance, but of trust. Can you hold your faith when nothing is confirmed yet? Can you lean into what you've seen in your spirit when the outside doesn't yet match? This is your moment to show the heavens you're anchored, even when the winds pick up. When you don't bend, you rise. Now you're standing at a crossroads where comfort and calling can't walk side by side. This isn't a casual moment, it's a defining one. Your willingness to trust when clarity isn't full, your ability to say yes without having all the answers, that is what determines what unfolds next. The real question isn't if you're capable, it's if you're committed. And commitment looks like forward motion, even with trembling hands. You're not required to be flawless. You're invited to be faithful. The weight of this transition will push against your fears, but it will also pull out your courage. You're not being asked to be perfect. You're being asked to keep going, to stay present when it would be easier to run, to stay rooted when doubt tries to uproot you. Every small step forward, taken in obedience, is building momentum in the unseen. You may not feel it, but you're already becoming who the future needs. And that kind of transformation is priceless. In the days ahead, don't be surprised if your dreams begin speaking louder than usual. When you close your eyes, your spirit may begin to receive messages beyond logic. These aren't just nighttime stories, they're strategic signals sent from above. You might see yourself pressing forward against resistance or flying freely above the noise. These are not coincidences, these are confirmations. They're reminders that you are not alone in this journey. You are being guided. One dream might feel like a challenge, showing you moving through a difficult path with everything inside you. It's a sign that you're in the middle of something meaningful, and every step is building your endurance. Another dream might feel like freedom, like your spirit breaking barriers and rising above what once held you down. That is heaven's way of showing you what's coming. Elevation, liberation, movement into your rightful place. These dreams are tools. Pay attention, write them down, pray over them. They are not to be ignored. They are maps for the season ahead. And in all of this, every test, every moment of tension, every stirring in the night, remember this: it's all part of something sacred. You are not being forgotten. You are being positioned. The pieces are coming together not to overwhelm you, but to usher you into your promise. The shift is not happening to you. It's happening for you. And the next thing you walk into will make the wait, the warfare, and the weeping all worth it. Keep pressing. Your alignment is here. There's a reason your journey has felt heavy at times. You weren't called to an ordinary path. What you carry inside you demands a strength that can't be developed in comfort. The dream where you moved with effort, every breath a decision to keep going, wasn't fiction. It was a divine reflection. Your life isn't a sprint with shortcuts. It's a long, grueling course that requires vision, resilience, and trust beyond what most are willing to give. And yet you're still here. That alone speaks volumes. You are not running aimlessly. You're advancing toward an outcome that's already been seen in the heavens. No matter how tired you get, remember, this journey has a destination, and you're closer to it than you realize. Then, there are those moments in your sleep where gravity no longer holds you, where your soul lifts into places untouched by struggle. That soaring feeling, the one that makes you wake up with peace you can't explain, isn't random. It's confirmation. You were never created to stay grounded by limitations. The rise you're sensing isn't hype, it's holy. You are stepping into a realm where former boundaries no longer apply. Things that once seemed too distant are suddenly within reach, not because you forced them, but because heaven is now ushering you upward. That lift, it's grace. That height, it's revelation. And with it comes clarity. Clarity about who you are and why you're here. But elevation doesn't come without noise. As you ascend, distractions will try to cloud your focus. You'll hear opinions, feel uncertainty, and encounter unexpected resistance. These aren't signs you're off track. They're evidence that you're on the edge of breakthrough. Doubt will whisper with urgency, trying to derail what faith has already confirmed. But your strength will be found not in louder voices, but in deeper stillness. You know what you've seen. You know what's been spoken. Hold that close and let it speak louder than confusion. Guard your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And when chaos rises, return to the truth you were given. before the noise ever started. You weren't created to mimic others. There's a reason you feel like you don't quite fit the mold. That dissonance you feel in spaces that ask you to shrink. It's a sign. You were set apart to carry something that hasn't been done before. Your fingerprint on this earth is singular. There is no template for what you're called to build. Stop apologizing for your originality. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. When you embrace the fullness of who you are, you give permission for others to do the same. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the sound, the gift, the insight that only you carry. And the more you walk in that truth, the more doors open, not because you chase them, but because they recognize you. The road won't always feel like progress. Challenges will hit harder the closer you get to purpose. But hear this, every pressure is producing something. Nothing in your journey is wasted. Not the delays, not the heartbreaks, not the moments when it all felt too much. All of it is being used. You're being refined, not rejected. You're being trained, not punished. Your faith isn't just being tested, it's being deepened. You're learning to trust not just when things feel good, but when everything feels uncertain. And that's where the gold is. That's where character is built. When you emerge from this, you won't just be ready, you'll be unstoppable. There comes a point when preparation ends and movement begins. That moment is now. You've waited, you've listened, you've healed. Now you're being asked to act. Not timidly, not half-heartedly, boldly. Your hesitation will only delay what's already yours. The opening you've prayed for is unfolding, but it requires your step. It requires your yes, even if it trembles. The gifts you carry were never meant to stay hidden. They were given to shift atmospheres, to unlock lives, to usher others into freedom through your obedience. You are not here to be small. You are here to make impact. The spotlight is not for show. It's for assignment. Don't let fear dress itself up as caution. You've already been prepared more than you think. Every time you kept going when you felt invisible, you were gaining ground. Every time you chose faith over feelings, you were building the very strength you need now. The world is waiting. Heaven is watching. And the door is wide open. Walk through it, boldly, completely, without apology. This is your time to show not just the world, but your Creator, that everything He's deposited in you was not in vain. You are the one. And this is the season where you step into it. Fully and finally. You've been sensing it. A pull so strong, a stirring so persistent, that ignoring it has become impossible. This isn't a fleeting moment of emotion or a passing thought. This is a divine directive, the kind that demands action, not someday, but now. What's rising inside you is not pressure, it's purpose, and that purpose carries urgency, not out of fear, but because the timing of heaven is exact. What you're being asked to do cannot wait for a more convenient season. The calling on your life has been ignited, and this is the hour to respond with everything you are. Everything around you is shifting, and not by chance. A divine redesign is in motion, and you're at the center of it. What's happening isn't random or chaotic. It's intentional, strategic, heaven-ordained. Old routines are cracking. Outdated patterns are losing grip. The familiar is giving way to something unfamiliar but full of promise. This internal transformation will stretch your identity. You will find yourself releasing parts of you that no longer serve where you're going. Your thoughts, your voice, your spirit, they're all being recalibrated. And as you shed, you won't shrink. You'll rise. But no great rise comes without a proving. Before breakthrough comes the test. And this one? It won't be about knowledge. It will be about loyalty to the vision. Your trust will be pulled in every direction. You'll face opposition, not because you're off track, but because you're standing at the gateway of destiny. The refining process is not meant to diminish. It's meant to reveal the depth of your conviction. It's in this fire that your strength will emerge. You were not chosen to crumble. You were chosen to stand. And not just stand, but rise stronger, clearer, and anchored in divine confidence. Now is the moment to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. With a donation of $100 or more, you can actively participate in His divine mission and contribute to His greater plan. Every offering you make reflects the boundless generosity of God, and I trust it will return to you abundantly, far exceeding your hopes. Always remember, His protection and blessing accompany your every step and every act of giving. You are a vital part of His sacred design. You are strong and radiant, steadfast like His mighty rock. Experience God's miracles, feel the rewards of your generosity deep within your soul, and shine your light with boldness and faith. May you be richly blessed, and may the light of the Lord continually guide your journey. A shift is echoing through the atmosphere, one you didn't request, but are perfectly positioned for. Doors are unlocking, not because you knocked the loudest, but because the time is right. This cosmic movement isn't simply about circumstances changing. It's about your entire life realigning with its highest assignment. Every delay, every disappointment was a part of the architecture. You weren't being denied, you were being directed. The connections coming into your life, the opportunities forming, they are not accidental. They are the unfolding of something ancient, something heaven marked with your name long ago. As you step into what's next, you'll feel an inner peeling, a release of the old self. This shedding is sacred. It's the removal of fear's residue, the undoing of smallness. The version of you that operated in survival cannot coexist with the one designed to lead in power. This next chapter demands clarity, authenticity, and obedience. You'll walk lighter, not because life is easier, but because you're finally aligned. What once weighed you down will become wisdom. The layers you let go of will make space for greater authority. And now, there's a spiritual awakening stirring within. Something louder than thought, deeper than feeling, is saying, "Rise." Not because you're finished preparing, but because the next move requires faith, not readiness. This isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing courage in the presence of fear. The nudge you feel to act? It's heaven's invitation. Your window of movement is open. Don't wait for external validation. The confirmation is in the clarity you've already received. And somewhere on this path, someone unexpected will appear, not as a rescuer, but as a key. Their presence will unlock what you've been circling. It won't be about status or appearance. It will be about alignment. This person is a divine appointment, a conversation, an insight, a gesture. They will activate something dormant inside you. Stay open. Don't dismiss what doesn't match your expectation. The form may be different, but the function is precise. And finally, a test is coming, not to disqualify, but to promote. It won't be passed by intellect or performance. It will require heart, integrity, surrender. Will you obey when no one's watching? Will you stay true when the outcome is unclear? That's what will separate those who dream from those who are commissioned. Your answers won't be verbal. They'll be lived. In how you move, how you stay, how you trust. You're being measured not for perfection, but for purity. So breathe, center yourself, and lean in. This is not just another day. This is a hinge point, a divine pivot, the kind of moment that redefines your legacy. You weren't made to watch from the sidelines. You were chosen to lead. And now is the moment that heaven calls your name and waits for your response.